Hello everyone, thanks for clicking on the link. Thanks for finding me if you did a search on YouTube. I made this video for my customers who have just placed an order and are patiently waiting to get their Seint product. They can watch this video, learn exactly what to do, how to set everything up properly, how to do that first application. I will throw in as many tips and tricks as possible. So I hope you find this video useful. So this will be for all of my customers that have placed an order, anyone in my team that has customers that have placed an order, or hey, if you're just coming across it on YouTube, that's great too. If you are interested in cream makeup, you might want to watch this and just see what it's all about. If you have any feedback for me, I'd be happy to take that, and then I can make a future video, or I can edit this one in some way to put in everything that anyone would possibly need for their first application. Because end all be all, we want you to love your makeup as much as I love my makeup. And congratulations on making the step to cream, whether you have mature skin, whether you have sensitive skin, whatever your reason is. I think if you go through these simple steps and you get to know your makeup a little bit, give it a little bit of time, there's definitely going to be a learning curve there to just learn how to apply it properly. You're going to love it as much as I do. And like I said, congratulations on making this step to cream. It's actually really a fabulous, fabulous product. You will have received your box, your Seint Beauty box, or you will receive it very soon. The boxes usually look like this. The sizes obviously are different. When you open your box, you're going to see all your goodies inside. So depending on which palette you bought, this is a palette 4. This is how they come packaged. And this is a palette 8. And then obviously there's 12s, there's 18s, there's all kinds of sizes. If you purchased any eyeshadow, it's going to come in one of these foil packs. And with your tins, you're going to get all your tins coming in like this. Your brushes will come in a box like that. So you're going to find everything in this box. I did hear that the tins are going to be now shipped in a little baggie. I don't think it's going to be a satin one. I think it's a canvas one, but that will protect them from bouncing around in your... So with your tins, they are a slide tin. So basically you're just going to slide the tin this way. Obviously mine are used. They're going to be nice and smooth for you, brand new. And you're going to pull your tin right out of there. Now these are great for pulling your tins back up out of your magnetic case. So you may want to hang on to a few of these. As far as I know right now, we don't have a recycling program, but it is something that a lot of people have made a suggestion for. So that could be coming in the future. So you're going to want to pull your palette out of your box first. You're just going to take the little cardboard sleeve off of it. And this is a basic 4 palette. And you're going to open it up and you're going to see that there is a little mirror. Hello, I can see myself. And this is the magnetic part of the palette where your tins will go. So I like to start with lightest to darkest in my palette, just especially when you're first learning. It's nice to have a little bit of order to everything so you kind of know what you're doing. After time, it becomes a little more obvious. So my lightest color, my lightest highlight, my brightening highlight is Aura. So I just pulled that out of the tin there. Then my main highlight is, no, that's not it. My main highlight is June. So that one is going to go next into my palette. And you see they just pop in. And that's magnet, and you probably end up sticking your fingers in a few times. Now, like I was saying, you can grab the tin, keep a tin or two, and you can just pop them out like that. That makes it a little bit easier than, again, digging your finger in 1,000 times like I have. So then my next one I'm going to put in is my contour color. This is Henna. That's my contour color. And then my final one is going to be the lip and cheek. If you only got the set of 4, you're only going to get the brightening highlight, the main highlight, your contour, and your lip and cheek. So you're going to pop that in there. And that makes up a basic palette. So you can see that you've got your lightest sort of to darkest here, and then your lip and cheek color there. Now, if you were to set up an 8 palette, you're just going to do the exact same thing for the top layer. So I've got my brightening highlight, main highlight, contour, lip and cheek, same as you would set up the 4 palette. And then on your second layer, it depends on what you purchase, but I have my Frenchie for my color correcting under my eyes. You may be popping Aspen in there as a color correcting for redness. Then I like to put my bronzer next. So my Bella bronzer is going to go in there if you got a bronzer. And then an illuminator, I put that one there. That's rose gold. And then say I got another lip and cheek. So then that is Summer Love. So I'm going to put that right in there. So now you can see you have 2 layers. You are all set up for that. Now, obviously on the bigger palettes, so like say the 12, I'm going to just show you mine. It's half empty, or, well, no, it isn't. It's got lip and cheeks and illuminators and some extra lip and cheek illuminators. So you would set your 12 up with your brightening highlight, main highlight. You can do these either way, up and down or side to side. Play with it a little bit. You're going to find out what you like the best. But anyway, all of the palettes are set up like that. So once you have your palette set up, I've set up this palette 8 to use. You will have your brush. Now, the 3D brush is what I recommend for most people. It is about the most user-friendly, most versatile brush out there. So you have a brush. You may have gotten the Perfector sponge, so that's that. Now, you're going to want to have this nice and moist. This one is dry, so it's only about this big, but they literally get about this big. So that is, you're all set up to go. You may have bought the brush cleaner, which is pretty essential. You can also wash them with soap and water. Just be really careful not to over wet, especially around the base of them, because then you will loosen the glue and the brushes will start to shed bristles. And you want to keep this baby as good as possible for as long as possible, because it is a bit of an investment. So brush cleaner is great if you bought that. If not, that can obviously go on your wish list for future orders. And also your setting spray, which I didn't bring in here. So those are all of basically the main things. One last little tip and trick I do want to mention is the waybill or the little invoice that you get inserted in your box. It will have all of the names of all the products, and it actually is a sticker. So this would be really helpful. I didn't do this on my first time, but I wish I would have. Is you can actually cut out all these names, and then you can actually label all of your colors by sticking the little names of each one down there. So that is also something you may want to do. On the back of each of these tins is the name of the product too. So you have the name on here. I don't know if you can see that. It says June, but also on the back of my tin for June, it says June as well. But if you feel like you want to label yours, that is a really great tip to do for starting out and learning where your colors are. Okay, we are ready. No, we're not ready. Stop. Stop, stop, stop. This step is number 1 most important. You've got everything set up. You've got your brush ready. You are ready to go. Stop. If you're like me, take off your glasses, grab your phone, set it to, I like portrait mode. Go to that same window that you took your makeup-free selfie at. Take a makeup-free selfie right now. Trust me, this is the biggest tip I can give for new Seint cream makeup users. Take the selfie. The change that you're going to see if you don't take the selfie and you look at it is going to be very subtle potentially, and you're not going to see your progress. You need to be able to see your progress the first time that you put the makeup on so that you see the difference. It can be very subtle. It can be very sheer. It does look like your own skin. So you may look in the mirror and go, nothing happened. But trust me, go stop. Take that photo. If it's dark out and you want to get your makeup on your face for the first time and you don't want to wait till morning so you have light out of a window, you can go to your bathroom mirror, take the photo. As long as you take the after photo in the same light, you're going to see the difference. This also helps to be able to see where you may want to apply it better. I'm actually going to suggest, and I know it's a lot, is take the before and afters for about the first 4, 5, 6 tries that you do this, or every third try or something, just to see your progress, see where you think you might want to change something. It is very, very helpful. I think that's what really helped me. When I first put it on, I was making videos, and so I got to see exactly the progress, and that was probably a game changer for me. So that is going to be a huge tip. Go take that photo. Now you are ready. So I'm also going to tell you something else that may be a little controversial. I want you to use your fingers the first time. And actually a customer of mine taught me that. She applied with the brush and it wasn't really working how she had expected for her. So we went to the finger application. And I think why it is so important to do with your fingers is you can actually feel the product. You can actually feel how much of the product you're putting on. And then you will know what it is like, the consistency of it, the movement of it and everything when you're gonna now go in with your brush and do it. So I think knowing the product is super important for that reason alone. So we are gonna start with contour. So what I want you to do is I want you to tap into the contour. Now, if your house is warm, it's going to be gooey and pasty, maybe a little thicker than, say, like toothpaste. If your house is cold, it's going to be quite hard. So sometimes you have to just do a little push in like this, and the warmth of your body on your finger will warm that product up. So you basically just want to tap it in. You don't want to dig it out or anything like that. You just want to tap it in so you have some on your finger. So now the trick, I'm sure you watch my videos, is finding the top of your ear. You're going to feel your top of your cheekbone is right there, and you're just going to hug the underside of that cheekbone to about there where I say the ball of the cheekbone is. That's where sort of mine ends, or the middle to outside of your eye. So you don't want to go any more forward than the middle of your eye. So if you find this spot, what finger did I use? I had that one. And you just hug the bottom side, and you're just going to draw that line sort of straight across to this, aim for this. So if you go like this and stop there, that's your contour. Now, why don't you want to go like this? Because think about shadows. This is art. Go back to your art class in grade 9 or whatever grade you had art in. This is, maybe that's why they call us Seint artists, because there is a component of art to this. When you're looking at someone's face, you don't want the globby shadow right here and then to go lighter this way. That would be counterproductive. It would look odd. You don't want a big blob of darkness and then it to get lighter as you go up. You actually want to bring the shadow from the back to the center. So everything on the outside can be darker and lighter to the inside. So you'll see that as we go along. So again, you're going to tap in to the other side. And then you are going to find that spot again. You're going to hug the bottom of that, and you're aiming for the bottom of your nostril here. So if I start here and I go here and I stop at the center of my eye, that is your cheek contour. That's the hardest one. So you've done that. So again, mine probably aren't super even. I probably went a little too far right there. It's okay. Cream is super, super forgiving. That's why you got this cream. It is something everyone can do. So this is the reason you got this product, because trust me, that little bit, we're gonna fix. It's all fixable. Like, actually very easily fixable. That's the key. I'm tapping in again. I'm going to do my forehead. Now I have a tall, wide forehead. So I am definitely going to try to bring down my forehead a little bit. So I'm going to just do this from here to here. I also have some, obviously loss of fat and collagen on my temples. So I don't want to make that more shadowed. So I'm going to stop before I get there. I also like to go in twice because I do have a tall forehead. I pulled my hair back today to show everyone this. So I'm actually going to do a double line just to combat that tall forehead. And everything that's going to get blended is going to get blended into my hairline. So we're not going to have that ring around your hairline. Another thing I like to do, because I have a wide forehead, is I just like to bring it here. Now these are all things you can play with as you get used to your cream makeup. So after the forehead is done, I'm going to do my jawline. So I'm just going to go right where the little end of your jawbone is here. And I'm just going to come just on the underside all the way to the middle. And again, you're tapping in. It's pasty. That's how it should be. The reason it is pasty is because they want you to keep the contour where you put it. It is a little thicker than the other creams. The last two little areas, let's do a light tap in, and let's just do under our lip. It just gives you a little bit of definition and dimension to your bottom lip right there. And then you're going to tap in 2 or 3 times. I did 4 or 5, whatever. You're going to get a feel for it. And then you're going to take this one, and this is the other one people find a little more difficult. Take the 2 fingers, you're going to smoosh them together like this so that you're sharing the product between the 2. So you'd want to do that so it kind of gets even. And then you're going to go in just where your eye sockets, just below where your eyebrows start, and you're going to start here, and you're going to get these 2 fingers as close as possible, just to contour your nose. And then a lot of people will put a little bit here if they feel like have a long nose. I put a little here because I feel like I have a little bit of a flared nose. So that is your contour. So congratulations, you've done your contour. If you're watching before you get your makeup, you're gonna know these steps pretty good, but you can also play the video and follow along. Okay, so next we are going to go with our main highlight. And this is my June, my main highlight. Now you're gonna feel the difference right away. This is creamier. So you're gonna tap in. Again, you're not getting a ton of product on here. Our cream makeup is not like liquid or powder where you're caking it on. Literally, it is going to work with your skin, move with your skin. It's gonna feel like your skin. So I have that little bit on there. I'm gonna just make some dots. I usually just will do 3 down there. This is how little product we're using. This contour I've had since June. It is January right now. You can see how little product you use. I apply it almost every day, some days 2 or 3 times if I'm making some content for my social media pages. So you can see that it goes a long way. So going back in and making your 3 dots here. I have a little bit of a red chin, so I do like to put just a little bit right there. Then I go in and I do what I call 7s, not the 7s that you do for eyeshadow, but I go 7 this way and 7 this way. So I'll do it sort of right here, middle there, and right down there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then when your 7s are done, 7. Okay, and then the last spot with your main highlight shade is right there. If you want to put a little bit on the sides, you can go right there and right there. So very little product. You have to agree with that. That's very little. So now I'm going to go into my brightening highlight, and you'll notice I'm not even cleaning my finger off because I got most of it off when I was placing it on my skin. So you're going to do the same thing. This one's going to be creamy as well. This is my brightening highlight. This is my lightest shade. This is to bring light to the center of your face. This would be traditionally a foundation, so what matches your skin tone the closest. This is what we would call a concealer, the lighter tone. But a lot of people don't realize that they do need to use concealer on the center of their face to bring that light forward. Just like I was talking with the contour, you want the shadows to the back, you want the light forward, so that you're gonna bring the focus to the center of your face. So with this one, I draw a Y, and then I go down the middle between those 2 lines on my nose. And then I tap in again. Some people like a little just right here and a little just right here for brightness. Tap in again. they do the corner of the eye. So you can either dot it as you go up, or you can sweep it. I don't like pulling on my eye skin that much, so I tend to dot it. Okay, so you got that there. I'm going into the wrong one. Did I go in the right one? I think I went in the wrong one. See, now I just made a mistake. I think I put June right there. So I'm actually just gonna go in with my Aura, my lighter one, and do that. I make mistakes all the time. It's totally correctable. And then I'm gonna tap in and I'm gonna go into the corner of my eye and down. And along the side of the nose, just like that. So this is a main application. Now I'm gonna grab a piece of Kleenex. I will wipe my finger off at this point. Of just the foundation, the only thing we have left is lip and cheek. I like to do my lip and cheek at the end because I like to control how much I use and what it looks like. You might want to put it on now, so you would just dab into that and you do like 2 dots. With your lip and cheek, if you want fullness on your face, so say you have a very thin face and you want just a little more fullness in the center, you're gonna apply more on the apples of the cheek and go to about that ball there. If you want to slim and lift your face though, you're gonna wanna start right on the ball and do it up to about here. So those I will show you at the end. So we have applied everything on our face. You know, it doesn't matter if you're slow at first because you actually want your body heat to warm up the product as well. So don't worry if it's taking you a moment. I don't suggest that you do this before work for your very first application where you're going to be in a rush. You kind of want some time to sort of be able to play and go slow. The one other area I use my brightening highlight is my eyelids are very uneven in color. They're actually really reddish and purple. So just because of age, I will dip into my Aura a little bit and I'll just pop a little bit on there too to blend in. So that I did not mention. Okay, so now you have all of your colors in place. So now you can go ahead and reach for your brush. So whether you got the 3D brush or you got the blush and bronzer brush, which is right here, some people will get the buff brush, which is this one. No, not that one. This one right here. This one's a harder one to master, so I don't usually recommend it to start, but either one of these two is a pretty good starter brush. This one is the sort of most versatile, especially when you start applying the cream with the brush. So what you want to do is you want to go to the fluffy bunny tail end of this one, or if you're using the blush and bronzer, the smaller end of the two would be great. So you're going to use these two ends right here. So let's use our 3D brush because that's the one most people will have. And you just want to start on the lightest areas and then move to the darker areas. And lightest can be main highlight or brightening highlight. So I usually start on my chin just because that's what I'm used to. And I won't go onto my neckline quite yet. I will just tap this into my skin. And it is amazing with those tiny little dots how much coverage you actually get. And one of the mistakes people make is applying too much because they're used to liquid and powder foundation. And rightly so. I mean, that's what we're all used to. So less is more, especially under the eyes. But you'll see that as I tap in, obviously I'm getting product on my brush, but it's dissipating it much less. So whatever I've got under my eye by doing this is just such a little amount of product that it's not gonna crease up the way that crease and crack like the liquid and the powders used to do, that I used to use, that I used to fight with. So then doing this to the center. So like I said, sticking to the lightest areas. Then I usually like to go down my nose just to blur that line I made. There's oftentimes I've forgotten to go here and I have a big brown spot on my nose. So don't forget these areas. The corners of the eyes are a little more challenging, but let's not go crazy there because we have a sponge that we can use. Whether you're using the Seint Perfector sponge or you're using your own sponge, as long as it's damp. So you're gonna get it really wet, you're gonna wring it out, and then you're gonna squeeze it in a towel. That's how you want to use it every time. Unless you have another one. This one's called, I gotta wash this one, Stands Out. This one is like a memory foam sponge, and you can actually use this one dry, which I will use today because I didn't wet my sponge. So that's super handy for people who forget to wet their sponge like me. So anyway, let's just keep tapping in the lightest color, and you can honestly keep tapping until it's all. Don't swipe though, because as soon as you swipe, you're gonna move things into different areas that you did not put them. Now, that's your basic tapping in your main highlight and your brightening highlight. One place you are gonna be able to sweep is we're gonna go tackle this contour first. So you can sweep down for your jawline contour because you want it to blend into your neck just a little bit. And you don't really want a harsh line there. So you can do that. I usually just will blend down like this. And then I'll usually just come across there a few times like that. There. So that's your neck, your jawline contour. Next, let's go ahead with the forehead contour. So we're just going to, now this is where you're gonna get your stippling method. You're gonna be a pro at this in no time. You stipple for all of this part, just stippling in place. But when you get here, you're gonna stipple and drag just a little because you're going to blend that line. See how I blended it into my hairline? Now, if you have white hair or very silver hair, you're going to want to be a little more careful with that. If you have this brush, you may even just want to do it with this because it will go onto your hair. Now, I don't mind that because it gets rid of some of my gray right around my hairline. I'll show you what it does right here. I call these my granny wings. It actually will color them almost the same color as my hair. So that works fine for me. So now back to the forehead. We blended it into the hairline. So you can see I don't have that ring anymore, but I still have that line. So now I just want to go back into my normal stippling motion like this and just stipple until you blur the line to the point that you like it. Just like that. There. And you can see how it's just taken my forehead from being super long and super wide to just a little bit less. This is art. This is exactly what we've learned in art class. Okay, so now we're gonna go to these. I would say the most challenging with all the contour is the cheek contour. Remember in the 80s and 90s, we were told to do this and put our contour like here. Actually, for a while, I think we were told to put our blush down there. So anyway, don't do that. That will bring your face down. This is why we apply it up here. So remember that stippling motion where we were stippling and pushing up here? We are gonna do the same thing here. So you're gonna do this. Just gonna go back and forth on the lighter part, and you're gonna work into the darker part. And watch my granny wings. I'm gonna show you the difference. Okay, so we have a nice cheek contour there. See the color of these? Look how light this one is. So if that's the effect you want, great. But what I'm saying is if you do have white or gray or very light blonde hair, it will get in your hair. My suggestion tip for that is grab some baby wipes and just wipe that after you're done all your makeup, and then you'll be able to clean up the edges. I think that's my best tip for that so far. If I find something new, I will definitely post on that. So that was me blending my contour right there. That's all I did. Now, do I have some age spots in there? Yes. Does that make it look a little muddy and everything? A little bit. The blush helps a little bit with that. So age spots, rosacea, under eye circles, those are all color correcting that we can do. There are lots of ideas and tips and tricks for age spot. Everybody's age spots are so different, so it's not like a one size fits all solution. So we have to sort of individually tackle that. For mine, I could go in and I could put some bronzer on before I applied all my makeup, and it would minimize those a little bit. What works best for me personally, though, is a product called Demi, or if I use a very pink, a light pink tone blush, that seems to help hide them a little bit better. Okay, so that is the one side. Let's go ahead and do this. So again, you're stippling up and you're starting with the lighter part first, and then you're moving back and you're eventually getting into that dark part, and you're always gonna push up as you stipple until you have it looking how you want to have it looking. Okay, so that's the basics besides the cheek color. So let's go ahead and put the cheek color on. I'm using a color called Nude. This is the one that I most widely recommend for people. It looks dark, but every color that Seint makes, this is why my contours lasted this long. Highly pigmented. So you use so very little. Like you saw how little I put on today. That's literally how much you use. So I'm going to tap into this. I always end up tapping in too much and getting too much product, but I put it on before where it's like way too much. You keep blending, and this is so, the fixes on this are so easy. That's the beauty of this. That's the beauty of it. Okay, so I'm going to lift my face. So I'm going to go no farther than this little ball of my cheek here. So I'm going to start actually quite up high, and I'm just going to put 3 little dots here. I'm going to go back in and do that again, and do that right on that cheekbone. So where we were hugging the cheekbone with the contour, I'm going on top of the cheekbone with my lip and cheek color. So you see how very little I use. Excess, I'll throw it on my lips. Okay, then you're going to go back in with that fluffy end of your brush, not the pointed end, and you're just going to stipple this in until you can't see the dots anymore and they're all blended. I think that's good. And the other side. Okay. So if you got just the 4, that's it. Gives you a nice natural look. The only other thing I would do now, and I usually do this once I'm done everything, is go in with either, again, your Perfector sponge, which you have gotten damp and wrung out, or if you have this one, it's super expensive on Amazon right now, or I would recommend it. Watch for it to go on sale. It's called Stands, as in Stan the man, Stands Out Beauty Blender. So if you see that, so what I do is, because we do have fine lines. We have fine lines under our eyes. You will want to, at the end, you will want to push the product into those. What the sponge also does, if you have put too much in that area, it will lift it off of your skin. So it'll leave you with a nice, even, light coat around your eyes. So I just do that around my eyes. Now, if you have your setting spray, you can spray a little of that on the sponge. I don't like putting super wet setting spray right around my eyes. So I'll usually, if I spray my sponge, I'll start here and I'll just tap it kind of in and get it all there. And then I'll go ahead and do my eyes last. But you can also go into all the areas, like especially around like creases with like your nose and everything. And just make sure that you didn't apply too much product. This will lift it away. That is a basic application if you bought the 4 colors. Now, if you went ahead and you got yourself some bronzer, some color corrector, some highlighter, or illuminator, I should say, different lip and cheek. Let's go ahead and do bronzer, because bronzer, again, it's another one of those things. So I don't recommend using the brush the first time either. So just tapping into that. It is one of the creamier ones too. And just applying it in a C where the sun would hit you. You can put a little on your nose. You can put a little on your chin. I like to use it on my neck, because you'll see with any product you use, whether it's liquid, powder, anything, your neck often is lighter or darker than your face. The bronzer ties that in nicely. I'll show you exactly how that works. So if you haven't purchased these, you might want to just watch and add some stuff to your wish list. If you're going to be as crazy about the makeup as I am, that would be a good thing to do. So tapping into your bronzer, you're gonna, again, with a very light hand, it's pretty easy. I know with me, the first few times I applied the bronzer, I applied way too much and I looked like reddish. So we just wanna be very light-handed with that. Okay, so you can see I just made these dots in a C shape around there. And then if I'm gonna go ahead and do my neck, I usually will do a dot here, here, here. I am a little more heavy-handed on my neck just because it's a bigger area and I want it to really have a little more color. So now I have extra. I always like, just get rid of the extra. It's all good. Just do that. Okay, so taking the fluffy end of that brush again, or the blush and bronzer brush. Some people use this end for applying the bronzer. Practice. I'd say practice is the thing to do with that. I haven't mastered that yet. So it's very fluffy, those then. Just beautiful. So again, stippling in. And I like to go sort of past where I made the circles just to sort of dissipate the color a little. It just gives a nice warm glow. But like I said, it's super easy to apply too much product. So be very sparingly. You can always add it. You can always add it. There. So basically that's your bronzer. You can see how it just made it a little more warm and a little more glowy. And then with the neck, ooh, I can't talk and do this. You can do this with your neck. Necklace. But you're gonna see how it just brings your neck and your chest and your face into a bit of a better match. Okay, my neck is red right now just because I touched it, but let's watch it in a couple minutes. Okay, so with the bronzer, a couple other things you can do is I do use it as a lip liner quite often. I also will use it as an eyeshadow quite often, just an easy cheater kind of eyeshadow look. I actually will just dab in and apply it with my brush. This isn't rocket science. It's pretty easy that way. Illuminator. This is my rose gold illuminator. I just do that. It's very creamy. So you're going to see how much I picked up there. You're just going to do the high points of your cheekbone on either side there. You are going to do, let's make the most of that contouring of your nose you did. Bring a little light there. You can do the top of your lip and your Cupid's bow. Just like that. See how it just illuminates everything a little bit? Just gives it that little shimmer. So there's that. And then I usually will tap this stuff in just very lightly. And then if you have like a color corrector for under the eyes, if you bought the 8-pack or the 12, this is the Frenchie. So what I would have done with that is I would have, because I do have circles under my eyes, I do have dark spots in the middle. I'll just do this really quickly. I'm going to actually just do this over top of what I already did. I would normally do this at the same time I apply my brightening highlight. I'm just wiping my finger off. I tap into the Frenchie a little bit, and I will tap into my brightening highlight a little bit, the Aura that I use. See how it kind of mixes the two together, and you get sort of an orangey concealer color. And then you just tap into the dark parts. See, right now you can see the difference. I haven't even blended it. I'm going to do that again. to go under the eye. And this is something you need to play with. If you have color correcting issues, you just have to have a few tries and just play with what your blend is between the two. So like when I go under my eyes, I use less Aura, a little more Frenchy. So I just go into that under eye area. Just like that. You can see the difference already between the two. Now I can see a dark spot on that one side. So because I have Aura already on my finger, I'm just gonna go in here. See, now I feel like I got too much. So again, this is like, it's just trial and error. Okay, I'll just do one eye so you can see the difference. Okay, and then I'm gonna just tap it in with my brush to kind of set it in there. And then I'll do my sponge. But you can see the difference between my two eyes. So color corrector, I can provide some one-on-one like FaceTime or Zoom calls for that, where we can sort of play with it a little bit. The other thing that you can use your contour color for is doing your brows. So if you have an angled brush, Seint makes obviously a great one. If I can find it. You can just do that, or even just a small little detail brush. So this guy would probably work. This is our multitasker. This guy is the brow brush. So you can just tap into this. And again, I will just do this eye just to show you. Like that. Just to fill in your brows. That's part of the way we actually color match for the contour, is what would match sort of your hair tone. So the contour should be a great color for you to use on your brows. So anyway, you can see the difference. So this eye is done with the color corrector and a little tiny bit of filling in the brows. The other end has the spoolie, so you can just run that through when you're done. Same thing as I will put setting spray on here and I'll tap that in. It doesn't move. Believe it or not, it doesn't move. I was kind of shocked at that one because you would think it's cream. So what can I tell you about cream makeup? Couple tips and tricks. Your face will take a couple weeks to get used to it. So, you know, when you try a new face cream for the first time, you really do give it at least a week or two, 10 days, 2 weeks, whatever, for your face to adjust to it, or a new shampoo. Like, it's the same concept. This has 11 ingredients in it, and a couple of them are emollients. So it will keep your face more moisturized than a foundation or a powder. Foundations and powders tend to dry your skin out because they have alcohols in them. This actually has emollient in it. So it will do the opposite. So it just will take that little bit to get used to it. When you touch your face, like mine right now, I don't feel tacky, but the first few times I did, I felt a little tacky. The setting spray is great for that. You can also use a setting spray that you can purchase. Like e.l.f. makes a great setting spray for setting. Actually, almost any setting spray can be used with cream makeup. So that's a plus. The one thing you do have to be careful is if you have really noticeable pores or a lot of texture on your face. I do find in the winter I will need to use a primer a little bit more because I find it doesn't sit as nicely up in this area on my skin as in the summer. Just probably because my skin's a little bit drier than it normally is. I do have super oily skin normally, but exfoliating is a big thing with cream makeup. If you have flakes of skin on your, like dry, dead skin on your skin, the cream makeup, like any makeup, is gonna stick to it and make it look noticeable. So you wanna exfoliate. That's a great thing to do right now before you even get your makeup. Get into a routine or find an exfoliator that you like, whether it's a scrub or a peel or whatever, a mask. Try finding something that will keep your skin exfoliated because that will definitely help with the cream makeup. Milk Hydro Grip is a great primer. This one I found super cheap. Wet n Wild, it's a primer. The thing about the primers, you do not want any silicone in them. There is a ton of primers and even moisturizers out there with silicone. Anything ending in C-O-N-E in the ingredients is silicone. Creams do not work well with silicone. Silicone provides a barrier. The cream, like I said, has... It makes it feel like your skin. It moves with your skin. If the silicone is there as a barrier, it's going to sit on top of it. It's not going to work. It can slide off your face. It cannot sit right. It can be blotchy. So you just want to find a primer with no silicone. Hang on. You're done. You finished your makeup. Go take that other selfie. Put them, if you have a program in your phone that does side by side, put them side by side and have a look, or just flip back and forth, and you will see those subtle differences that this made that makes your skin glowy and youthful and healthy looking. So I just want you to be able to see that, and then you might also see, okay, maybe I should have used a little more contour up here, or, oh, I see the brown spot on my nose, like I often do, things like that. So I hope you have found this helpful. If you need anything, you contact me. If you're my customer, if you are one of my teammates' customers, contact them. We are all there to help. We share obviously resources and information, and everybody has different tips and tricks. So I hope that these have been helpful to you, and thanks so much for watching. Sorry it went on so long, but I'm glad you're going to get your makeup and you will have a lot of fun with it. Thanks so much.